And are you refreshed? Good. Now what?
Hello. I was expecting this. Thank you. First of all, I wanted to say, if you can say to Esther that she looks lovely today. And my question will be short. I want some clarity. I want more clarity on intuition.
Say again?
I want more clarity about intuition, because sometimes confuses me, because I don't know if, I think I know from where it comes from source, but when I feel it, I don't think that I'm a deliberate creator. I don't know what comes first, if I'm the one who creates, because sometimes I feel that my intuition creates before I do create.
Well, the creation has happened, and the intuition leads you to the exploration and the realization of it. Does that make sense? But your question is such a good one, because you could be under the influence because of your practiced vibration, and it's really the vibration in the moment. But the vibration in the moment is really likely to be about the vibration you've been practicing most. And so a belief is a thought you continue to think, and so the beliefs that you hold usually are at the basis of what you're broadcasting. And so if you're under the influence of source in some moment in time, like we've been describing already here today, then under that influence, as the impulses come and the thoughts stream and the movie plays, it feels empowering, and it feels satisfying, and it feels like something that you're interested in and something you want to do. But sometimes it can seem like you're under the influence of something because it's a thought that's streaming. You know you're receiving it. You know you're not broadcasting it. You're receiving it. But the question is, where am I receiving it from? Am I receiving it from my inner being and from that source stream, or am I receiving it from the stream of conscious thought of man? Every thought.
Does it matter?
Matters a lot. Every thought that's ever been thought still exists. And for different reasons, different thought streams are activated. And if you're in the vibrational vicinity of a stream of thought, you're going to pick up on that stream of thought. That's why we talk so much about getting out ahead of it. Practice your proclivity toward being under the influence of source. Esther has some dash cards made. When you look at them, they're hard to read because they're backwards, but when you lay them on the dash of your vehicle, it reflects onto the windshield. And she decided that a dash card was much better than a bumper sticker, because she didn't think it would be such a good idea for you to be driving around with a bumper sticker that said under the influence. But it's a really good reminder to ask yourself, under the influence of what? Am I under the influence of the television program I've been watching? Am I under the influence of some knee-jerk response that I had to something that I didn't like? Or am I under the influence of source energy because I got out ahead of it and I allowed my vibration to rise? In other words, it really is a wonderful thing to get so that you know quickly and easily what influence you're under. And the answer is quick and easy. It's if it feels good, if it feels interesting or satisfying or pleasant, or like something that you want to do, if it feels like love or appreciation, if it feels like empowerment, if it feels like enlightenment, then you're under the influence of source. But if it feels like fixing a problem, if it feels like getting even, if it feels like making a point, if it feels like teaching someone something, then very often you're under the influence of something other than source. There are two ways of knowing. We've been saying for a while, there are two ways of knowing what your point of attraction is. One is by the way you feel, which we just described, and the other is as it plays out. We call the first pre-manifestational. In other words, how do I feel? And if it feels good, then let the thoughts continue to flow in that direction. But if you feel uneasiness or trepidation, or if you feel like you're in the problem-solving mode, then let it go if you can. And in either case, it's going to play out, which is going to give you more information, It might give you an experience you don't want, which just causes you to clarify what you do want. It just gets better and better as it continues to evolve. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. But the thing is that sometimes what I can feel and understand from my intuition is not what my mind wants. But at the end, it turns out that it was what I wanted.
Here's the thing that we really want you to hear. In any moment, when you're under the influence of Source so that it feels good, what's happening in your mind will feel good too. So what you just described is a contradiction that cannot be.
I understand. Now I do.
The thing to notice, and this is something that a deliberate creator like you really wants to have fun with, is that your attraction is now, 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 now. And so you could be in the now, listening to someone talking, and the condition of that conversation could be influencing you to be under the influence of Source. And then you could turn and talk to someone else, and the condition of that conversation could cause you to not be under the influence of Source. It's a moment by moment experience, isn't it? Consider this. The more moments that you care about what you feel like, and the more moments that you listen for that non-physical good feeling conversation, then the more practiced you are there, and the more the things that are off will feel off to you. This is not a mysterious thing. If it feels mysterious to any of you, it's because you have not yet given yourself the permission to feel good. You're not yet sure that feeling good really is a good thing. And that's because you've been fostered in environments where it's interesting to watch you, because other people in your life will say to you, you're acting pretty selfish, you know. They accuse us, Abraham, you teach selfishness. And we say, yes, indeed we do. Because if you're not selfish enough to tune into who you really are, you don't have anything to give anybody anyway. We teach attention to the whole self of who you are. But sometimes other people will say, you should not be so selfish. And what they mean is, you should not satisfy your selfishness, you should satisfy mine. And so, without meaning to, they were well-meaning mostly, and you are well-meaning mostly, but without meaning to, without being really aware of what you were doing, you've trained yourselves to care about the response of others. And so that's why it's a little difficult at first to really know what influence you're under, because you're accustomed to being a facilitator, or to serving gladly, or to doing what others need you to do. You have that tendency. Esther has it too. She will give up her airline seat for someone else just because they want it, and because she doesn't really care that much, until she's in the middle seat and she thinks, so I lost my mind again. Did I really do that? So practicing being aware of what your emotions are, that's really what you're reaching for. And don't worry about it. Let's say you don't know, so you let it play out, and it plays out in a way that then you know. Do you know what buyer's remorse is? You hear the phrase, but we want to tell you what it is from a vibrational standpoint. So you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and in the receiving mode, and you get this impulse to move towards something, and you do it, and then for whatever reason you lose your connection with all of that, and you're not in alignment with who you are, and then you say, oh, that was a big mistake. And we say, wasn't a big mistake. The only thing that's gone a little wrong is you're not hooked up with who you really are. You're not in alignment with the desire that you were in alignment with when you made the purchase, or whatever it was, you see. Don't be so quick to evaluate the big picture from the singular moment. Take a broader view on all of this and start to notice your trends and your patterns and how you usually feel. Don't be critical. Don't try to hold yourself to a moment-to-moment standard. Say things such as, I'm feeling better much more of the time, or I can really feel that I'm on a positive roll, rather than, oh, the other day I had that negative feeling. I'm so embarrassed and ashamed that I spoke in the way that I did. So what? So what?